Okay, this question looks very friendly because you've got two rectangles. You go, oh, nice one, maybe I'll add the perimeter or something like that. But straight away you can see when you start reading it, you have got a quadratic on the go. So this is going to require either to factorise, to solve, to use a quadratic formula, to complete the square, to do a sketch. It could require many different skills as soon as you see a quadratic. So let's investigate it. So you've got the two different shapes, the dimensions, some are numbers and some are algebraic terms, they've got letters in, simple as that. And we need to show that the area, or show that something can make 2x squared plus 6x minus 95. It reckons that the whole area of the shape is 95 centimetres squared, so let's start there. If I find the area of different things, now I'll encourage you to actually write on here so you can get the grasp of it. If I find the area of this rectangle, it's length times width, so it's 5 times x, which is 5x. Okay. This one is going to be, I'm going to take it that way, because why not? It's going to be x times 2x plus 1. Okay, and you can represent it like that. If I expand that bracket, I'm going to have 2x squared plus x. Because I'm on question 19, I'm going to drop some of the arrows and I'm going to drop some of the beginning explanations so you can see quickly what's happening. So if I pull these together, I've got the area of the vertical rectangle and I've got the area of the horizontal rectangle, that being that, and that being that. It reckons that the area, or it tells us, it's telling you that the area, when you combine them, is 95. Okay. Now, if you start looking at what we've got to show, what it's got to go down to, you can see that we've got 95 involved now. We've got 2x squared involved now, and we've got two things that could combine to make 6x squared. So what we need to do is simplify what we've got, and then get all the things to one side. So 2x squared, there's no other x squared terms to go with it. The x and the 5x will make 6x. So far I've got that, just by combining the x terms. We're nearly there. Now, what I'm going to do is take the 95 across the other side. On this side, I've got plus 95. I'm going to take away 95 to make sure it goes on the other side, or to balance the equation is what we're doing. And that is going to show that these equal 95. When I rearrange it, I get the quadratic they're talking about. Okay, they do ask this question a lot, and you've got to be familiar with what to do. Okay, so you've got to form the equation, rearrange it to what they want, and then you've done what they've asked. Those in the know will know that it says equals 0, we've got to find out what x is. Those who are even more in the know will know what, when you read the question, it's going to tell you what technique it's after. Because it's asking me to round the answer eventually, I know that the answers aren't going to be a whole number. Okay, I know I'm going to have to use the quadratic formula. Now, in this paper, and all higher papers, I'm just spinning around, that's why my voice might be fluctuating, because I'm looking for the formula sheet. The quadratic formula is always at the front. Now, some students that aren't used to our exams think that these are the first questions, so they get stuck straight away because they're trying to answer these questions. But there's quadratic formula. Okay. If I zoom in, which could go wrong, so bear with me. If I zoom into it so you can get a good glance at it. Okay, I'll zoom it, focus it again. Okay, you can see it there. It tells you where A, B and C are in the format of the equation, and it tells you the actual formula. Okay. Now, some of us are very well practiced at this. Some of us have completely forgotten, I imagine, in year 10. Okay, from year 9. So I'm going to run through it very quickly. Now, because I was forced to learn it when I was young, I know the formula. Okay, so I'm just going to write it out. So I know it's minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, on this particular one, a is 2 because it's what's next to x squared, b is 6, and c is minus 95. Okay, because it's ax squared, so I know I've got a, and bx, so b is 6, plus c, so c is minus 95. Okay, it's a calculator thing, so I'm just going to show one example of those numbers here, then I'm going to put it in the calculator very quickly and get my two values. Okay, plus and minus in the formula shows that I'm going to have two separate answers. So minus b, so minus 6 plus or minus the square root of 6 squared minus 4 times, because they're next to each other, 2 times minus 95. Okay, all over 2 times 2. All I did was use the values of a, b and c and replaced it in the formula. I've not done any maths. Obviously I've identified that I've got the quadratic formula, but that's it. I'm going to get credit for this. I'm going to get marks for this. What you can do is substitute that into the formula directly, but sometimes what helps is to work out little bits and bobs. Okay, but I'm going to do it into the calculator straight away so you can see how it's done. Now at this point I'm going to do one version where this is a plus and one version where it's a minus, and I'll get two separate answers. Okay, I'll then round it to 3 significant figures and I'll put it in. This is only 3 marks, excuse me, and it's going to take you more than 3 minutes for some of you. So those questions where you had 4 marks, it's going to take you like 30 seconds. This is the time that is going to be absorbed. Well, this is the question where that time is going to be taken back from you. Okay, so I'm going to bring them aside so I can see them. I'm going to use the fraction button. Okay, and I'm going to put minus 6 in by using the negative button. So I was careful to use that button, and then I'm going to input the rest. Plus root 6 squared, take away, it's not a minus, 4 times 2 times minus 95. Hey, that's that little bit done. I could put these in brackets, but be careful when you're navigating. I pressed right so it came out of the square root to enclose those. Doesn't matter. On the bottom, 2 times 2. Oh, I'm just going to work that out because I've got the talent. It's 4. Alright. Now I could have put 2 times 2, so just to prove a point, could do that. So it showed me what all that information works out to be. So if I look at that, bring that a bit closer in the light. By putting that in, it's done a lot of the working out for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, look, Mr. Examiner, I've done all this hard work, but what I'm actually going to do is copy down what the calculator has enabled me to see. Okay, so what it says is minus 3 plus root 199 over 2. In actual fact, that's a load of rubbish really, because obviously it's simplified a little bit and put it in said form. That's me being hopeful. In actual fact, what I'm interested in, not that, you see me getting rid of it already. Look, backtrack. Obviously I'll improve this as the years go on. So when it's a plus, I think I can go 5.5533. I'm not rounding that, I'm just going to leave it like that. And then if I go back, this is the benefit of using a calculator. If I navigate using the buttons, if I go back, you can see the cursor jumping around, goes to the top. And in the quadratic formula, because it's a plus and a minus, I now need to use it when it's a minus. So if I press backspace, it's deleted the wrong thing for me. Fantastic. I can now put a minus instead, and straight away, boom, gives me an answer, okay, of minus 8.5533. Rounded again, 3 significant figures. So the first 3 numbers that are the most important are the status 5.55 and minus 8.55, or goes up to 5.56, or be careful, decimal negative. Sorry, don't be careful. 8.56 as well, but it's a 3 that's getting lopped off first. Okay, so it's less than 5, so it just stays as that. So 5.55 minus 8.55. Okay, lots of time spent doing that. The more practiced you are, scribble that out. The more practiced you are at substituting into the quadratic formula, the quicker you'll be. Okay.